Across the vast, sun-drenched plains of East Africa, an ancient rhythm dictates the pulse of life. Here the land stretches endlessly, painted in hues of gold and green, where the horizon shimmers beneath the early morning sun, and the air is thick with anticipation. It is a spectacle of survival, a drama of immense scale and profound importance that has played out for millennia. Each year the land becomes a stage for one of the most extraordinary natural events on Earth. This is the Great Migration, one of the last great mass movements of terrestrial mammals left on our planet. Over 1.5 million wildebeest, accompanied by hundreds of thousands of zebras and gazelles, embark on a journey that spans nearly 3,000 kilometres. It is not a journey with a clear beginning or end, but rather a continuous circular pilgrimage driven by the most fundamental of needs, the search for fresh grass and life-giving water. The herds are in constant motion, always seeking the next patch of green, the next life-sustaining stream. The air itself seems to hum with the energy of millions of hooves, a constant low thunder that rolls across the Serengeti and into the Maasai Mara. Dust clouds rise in their wake, marking their passage and testifying to the raw, untamed power of the natural world. This epic trek is a story of life and death, of instinct and endurance. The journey is fraught with peril, as the herds must cross rivers swollen by seasonal rains, navigate rocky outcrops and traverse parched plains under a relentless sun. It is led by nearly 2 million wildebeest, whose seemingly chaotic yet purposeful advance sets the pace for the entire procession. Their movements are guided by ancient instincts passed down through generations, ensuring the survival of the species. They are joined by hundreds of thousands of plain zebras and elegant Thompson's gazelles, each species playing a unique role in this travelling ecosystem. Zebras, with their keen eyesight and memory, often lead the way, while gazelles graze on the shorter grasses left behind. Each animal contributes to the balance of the ecosystem, their grazing patterns shaping the landscape and influencing the growth of new vegetation. Together, they form a living tapestry of interdependence. Together, they form a single, colossal superherd, a moving feast that draws the attention of every predator in this part of Africa. The sheer size of the migration is staggering. At times, the herds stretch as far as the eye can see, a living river of life flowing across the plains. For these herbivores, the journey is a desperate gamble. For the carnivores that lie in wait, it is a time of unparalleled opportunity, a season of plenty in a land where survival is never guaranteed for long. Every step is shadowed by danger as predators stalk the fringes of the herds. The driving force behind this relentless movement is the rain. The arrival of the rains transforms the landscape, turning dusty plains into lush grasslands and filling dry riverbeds with life-giving water. The herds follow the seasonal storms, their ancient instincts guiding them across nearly 3,000 kilometres of unforgiving terrain. The timing of the rains is crucial, too early or too late, and the herds may face starvation or exhaustion. They move from the southern Serengeti plains in Tanzania, where the calving season brings a surge of new life and vulnerable young. Northwards to the lush grasslands of the Maasai Mara in Kenya, where the abundance of food supports the herds through the dry season. And back again in a clockwise loop, a never-ending cycle that has shaped the land and its inhabitants for countless generations. Every step of this journey is fraught with danger. Treacherous river crossings await, where swift currents and lurking crocodiles claim the lives of many. Exhaustion, thirst and starvation are constant companions. The weakest fall behind, and only the strongest survive to continue the journey. But the greatest threats wear the faces of the hunters. Lions, leopards, cheetahs and hyenas all depend on this annual bounty, their survival intertwined with the fate of the herds. Crocodiles lie in wait at river crossings, their patience rewarded by the chaos of the crossing. Predators gather near waterholes, knowing the herds must drink to survive. To witness the Great Migration is to see nature in its most dynamic and powerful state. The sheer scale and intensity of the event is unmatched anywhere else on Earth. It is a living, breathing illustration of the intricate connections that bind every creature, from the smallest insect that thrives in the churned-up soil to the mightiest predator that stalks the herds, to the land they inhabit. The fate of the wildebeest is tied to the rains, their movements shaping the very landscape as they graze and fertilize the soil, encouraging new growth in their wake. The health of the lions is tied to the strength of the herds, as the abundance of prey ensures the survival of cubs and the continuation of the pride. The vitality of the entire savanna ecosystem is tied to this ceaseless circular march. Every plant, every animal, every drop of water is part of this grand, interconnected web of life. This is more than just a movement of animals, it is the very heartbeat of the African plains, a powerful reminder of the wild wonders that still exist on our Earth. The Great Migration is a testament to the resilience of life, the beauty of nature's cycles, and the enduring mystery of the wild. The magnitude of this moving spectacle defies imagination, an ancient rhythm of life that pulses across the heart of Africa. Columns of animals, sometimes stretching for over 40 kilometres, create a living river of fur and hooves, flowing ceaselessly across the grasslands. This is the Great Migration, one of the largest and most dynamic movements of land mammals on Earth. Nearly 2 million blue wildebeest form the core of this procession, their deep, resonant grunts echoing for miles, signalling their presence to all who share the plains. Alongside them, around 700,000 plain zebras add a striking contrast, their black and white stripes creating a mesmerizing, shifting pattern within the sea of brown wildebeest. At the edges, hundreds of thousands of Thompson's and Grant's gazelles leap and dart, their agility and vigilance a constant defence against lurking threats. Together, these grazers embark on an epic journey, traversing nearly 3,000 kilometres in a continuous annual circuit, one of the longest and most perilous migrations in the animal kingdom. Their route is guided by instinct and memory, following the shifting promise of green pastures brought by the seasonal rains, a map etched into their collective consciousness. The Odyssey begins on the mineral-rich plains of the southern Serengeti near the Ngorongoro crater, where the land bursts with life after the rains. Here, in the early months, the plains become a vast nursery. Over 500,000 wildebeest calves are born within a few short weeks, their first steps taken amidst the safety of the herd. As the sun climbs higher and the grass is dry, the herds are compelled to move, driven by hunger and thirst. The relentless search for water and fresh grazing pushes them ever northward. The journey leads through acacia woodlands, across open plains and towards the northern border with Kenya, each region presenting its own set of challenges. The landscape shifts constantly, rolling grasslands, rocky outcrops and dense woodlands, each demanding different strategies for survival. The herds must navigate rocky ground, endure searing daytime heat and freezing nights, and remain ever alert to the predators that stalk them, lions, hyenas and crocodiles, all waiting for a moment of weakness. Zebras often take the lead, their keen eyesight and memory guiding the way. As pioneer grazers, they forge paths through the tall, dry grasses. Zebras prefer the longer, tougher grasses. By cropping them down, they reveal the tender, nutrient-rich shoots that wildebeest favour, creating a natural sequence of grazing. Gazelles follow in the wake, feeding on the freshest growth and delicate herbs left behind, their smaller size allowing them to thrive on what remains. This harmonious sequence forms a masterpiece of ecological efficiency, with each species playing a unique role in sustaining the balance of the plains. Though all move in the same direction, their varied diets and grazing habits prevent direct competition, allowing the land to support immense numbers. This unconscious collaboration enables the ecosystem to flourish, with each animal contributing to the health of the grasslands. The sheer density of the herds is not only a spectacle, but a vital survival strategy. In such numbers, the risk of predation for any single animal is greatly reduced. Predators scan the masses, seeking the weak or the unwary, but the confusion and protection of the crowd make it difficult to isolate a target. Yet the journey is unforgiving. Exhaustion, injury and hunger claim many, and opportunistic scavengers circle above, ever watchful for those who fall behind. Each year, an estimated 250,000 wildebeest perish along the route, their remains nourishing the very land that sustains the migration, completing the cycle of life on the savannah. Where the great herds travel, the hunters are never far behind. Every hoofbeat on the savannah is a signal, a message that echoes through the grasslands, drawing the attention of the ever-watchful predators. The Great Migration is a moving banquet, a predictable and abundant source of food that shapes the lives of the savannah's most formidable carnivores. For the prey, it is a journey fraught with peril, every step shadowed by the threat of attack. For the predators of the Serengeti and Maasai Mara, this annual event is the most important time of the year. It is a season of opportunity, where every hunter sharpens its senses and hones its tactics. Lions, the undisputed kings of this domain, patrol their territories with renewed purpose, their golden eyes watching the approaching dust clouds with keen anticipation. They move with calculated patience, using the tall grass and scattered trees as cover, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The arrival of the herds means an end to the lean times. It is a season of feasting that will determine the strength and survival of their prides for the year to come. But every hunt is a gamble, and the prey are not without their own defences. But the lions are not alone. A diverse cast of hunters, each with its own unique set of skills, joins the great hunt. Each predator has evolved a distinct strategy, from the relentless endurance of the hyena to the explosive speed of the cheetah. The spotted hyena, often misunderstood as a mere scavenger, is in fact a highly intelligent and powerful predator. Their keen senses allow them to detect weakness in the herds, and their social structure gives them a tactical edge. Hunting in large, disciplined clans, they can run down even the strongest wildebeest, their incredible stamina and bone-crushing jaws making them a fearsome adversary. The wildebeest, sensing danger, bunch together, using numbers and confusion as their shield. They communicate with a complex series of whoops and calls, coordinating their attacks with chilling efficiency. The prey, in turn, rely on alarm calls and sudden bursts of speed to escape the tightening noose. For a lone wildebeest calf or a weakened adult, the sound of a hyena clan on the move is often the last sound it will ever hear. The herd's only hope is to keep moving, never letting the weak fall too far behind. Lurking in the dappled light of the acacia trees or the rocky outcrops known as coppice, the leopard waits in silent ambush. Its patience is legendary, sometimes waiting for hours for the perfect opportunity. A master of camouflage and stealth, this solitary hunter relies on surprise to catch its prey. The slightest rustle or misplaced step can mean the difference between life and death. Leopards are immensely powerful, capable of hoisting a carcass heavier than themselves up into a tree, safely away from the reach of lions and hyenas. This strategy ensures their hard-won meal is not stolen in the chaos of the savannah. The migration provides them with ample opportunity to stalk the stragglers and the unwary, a ghostly presence that strikes with lethal precision from the shadows. The herds, ever alert, scan the undergrowth for the telltale flicker of a tail or the glint of eyes. Then there is the cheetah, the embodiment of speed, a blur of spots and muscle built for the chase across the open plains, targeting the young and the isolated. Their hunts are brief and explosive, relying on stealthy approaches and sudden acceleration. The very air seems to crackle with tension as the herds move through these predator-rich lands. Every shadow could conceal danger, every gust of wind could carry the scent of a hunter. The journey is a constant, nerve-wracking test of vigilance. The prey must read the landscape, anticipate ambushes, and react in an instant to survive. Every riverbank could hide a crocodile, every thicket could conceal a lion, and every distant shape could be a hyena clan gathering for a hunt. The ecosystem is a web of tension where every creature is both hunter and hunted. The predators are a relentless force of natural selection, weeding out the weak, the old, and the unlucky. Their strategies are ever evolving, as are the defences of their prey. While their actions may seem brutal, they are essential for the health of the ecosystem. The constant struggle between predator and prey drives adaptation, shaping the very fabric of life on the savannah. By controlling the herbivore populations, they prevent overgrazing and ensure that only the strongest and fittest animals survive to pass on their genes, maintaining the delicate balance of the savannah. In this ancient arena, every strategy, every response, and every heartbeat is part of a grand, ongoing contest for survival. At the apex of the savannah's food chain reigns the lion, Panthera leo. These formidable predators are not solitary wanderers, but social creatures bound by intricate relationships and shared destinies. Lions are unique among the world's felines for their complex social structure, forming tightly knit groups known as prides. Within these prides, every member has a role, and the bonds between them are forged through constant interaction, grooming, and cooperation. A typical pride consists of several related lionesses, their offspring, and one or two dominant males. The lionesses, often sisters or cousins, form the stable heart of the group. While males may come and go, their tenure determined by strength and circumstance. This social bond is the key to their success in a challenging environment. Through unity, the pride can defend territory, care for young, and face the dangers of the wild together. The pride is a fortress of strength, a cooperative unit that allows them to hunt larger prey, defend their territory, and raise their cubs with a greater chance of survival. Each member relies on the others, and the pride's survival depends on this collective effort. The lionesses form the stable core of the pride, often remaining in their birth territory for their entire lives. Their powerful sisterhood is built on trust, mutual grooming, and the shared responsibility of raising cubs. This unity ensures the pride's continuity across generations. The roles within the pride are clearly defined. Lionesses are the hunters and nurturers, while males serve as protectors and defenders. The lionesses are the primary hunters, using their agility and teamwork to outmaneuver prey. Their cooperation is essential for success. Their smaller, more agile bodies are better suited for the explosive bursts of speed and coordinated tactics required to bring down a powerful wildebeest or a fast zebra. Each hunt is a display of silent communication, patience, and perfect timing. They hunt as a team, using sophisticated strategies like flanking maneuvers and ambushes to surround and overwhelm their prey. Some lionesses may act as drivers, flushing prey towards hidden ambushes, while others wait in silence for the perfect moment to strike. One group of lionesses might drive the target towards another group lying in wait, a deadly trap sprung with devastating force. This level of coordination is rare among predators and is a testament to the pride's unity. A powerful bite to the throat or muzzle swiftly ends the struggle, and the hard-won meal is then shared amongst the pride, though not always peacefully. Our hierarchies emerge at the kill, with dominant individuals feeding first, while others wait their turn. The male lions, with their impressive manes and formidable size, weighing up to 250 kilograms, have a different but equally vital role. Their presence alone can deter rivals and threats. Their primary responsibility is to protect the pride and its territory from rival males. Patrols and displays of strength are daily rituals, reinforcing their dominance. The roar of a male lion is one of the most evocative sounds in Africa, a deep, resonant call that can travel for up to 8 kilometres. It serves as both a warning and a proclamation of power. It is a declaration of ownership, a warning to any intruders that this land is taken. The sound echoes across the plains, marking the boundaries of the pride's domain. The life of a male lion is one of constant conflict, and battles for control of a pride can be ferocious and often fatal. Only the strongest and most determined males can secure and maintain their place within a pride. A new male taking over will frequently kill any existing cubs to bring the females back into estrus and sire his own dynasty. This harsh reality ensures that only the fittest genes are passed on. The arrival of the Great Migration is a time of great importance for the pride's future. The movement of vast herds across the plains brings both opportunity and challenge. The abundance of prey means the lionesses can hunt more successfully, providing the vital nutrition needed for the cubs to grow strong. During these times, the pride thrives, and the next generation is given the best chance at survival. In areas like the Ngorongoro crater, the density of lions is the highest ever recorded, a direct result of the year-round presence of game. Here, prides may overlap, and competition for resources is fierce. However, even for these apex predators, life is not easy. Hunger, injury, and rivalry are constant threats, and every day is a test of resilience. Over half of their food can come from scavenging, stealing kills from other predators like hyenas. Opportunism is a survival strategy, and lions are masters at seizing every advantage. The lion, for all its power and majesty, is an opportunist, and its survival depends on its ability to seize every chance the savannah offers. Within the pride, every member plays a part in this ongoing story of strength, strategy, and adaptation. Section 5. Strength in numbers, the survival tactics of the herd. For the millions of wildebeest, zebras and gazelles, survival on this perilous journey depends on a simple but effective principle. There is safety in numbers. These herds form vast shifting communities that move as one, their collective vigilance and unity providing a formidable defence against predators. By moving together in a colossal chaotic mass, they create a wall of confusion that confounds their predators. The swirling, ever-changing patterns of the herd make it nearly impossible for a hunter to focus on a single target. For a lion watching the herd, it's, quite difficult to single out one individual from the swirling sea of bodies and legs. The constant motion and density of the group act as a living shield, protecting the most vulnerable members. This overwhelming presence is their first and most important line of defence. The herd's sheer size and tight formation can deter even the most determined predator from making an attack. A lone wildebeest is an easy target, but a wildebeest within a herd of thousands is a much more challenging proposition. Predators instinctively seek out the isolated, the weak, or the young, but the herd's unity makes such opportunities rare. The sheer probability of being the one chosen is dramatically reduced. Each individual's risk is diluted by the presence of so many others, a phenomenon known as the dilution effect. The wildebeest have a particularly clever strategy timed to coincide with the start of their journey. As the migration begins, the herd's numbers swell with the arrival of newborn calves. In the southern Serengeti, during a short window of just 2 to 3 weeks in February, over 500,000 calves are born. This explosion of new life is a spectacle of nature, and it is no accident. This synchronized birthing is a remarkable phenomenon known as predator saturation. By giving birth at the same time, the herd ensures that predators are simply overwhelmed by the sheer number of vulnerable young. The sudden arrival of so many vulnerable young completely overwhelms the local predators. Even the most efficient hunters cannot keep up with the abundance of prey. Lions, hyenas and cheetahs can feast, but they simply cannot kill and eat fast enough to make a significant dent in the new generation. The majority of calves survive, ensuring the future of the herd. This glut of potential prey ensures that a very high percentage of the calves will survive their first few dangerous weeks on Earth. The herd strategy is a triumph of numbers and timing. The calves themselves are born with an incredible will to live. From their very first moments they must be ready to face the challenges of the wild. Within minutes of birth, a newborn wildebeest is able to stagger to its feet, and within a week it can run at speeds of over 30 kilometres per hour, fast enough to keep up with the relentlessly moving herd. This rapid development is crucial for survival during migration. This precocious development is absolutely essential for survival. The migration waits for no one, and only the strong and swift can keep pace. The zebras, travelling alongside the wildebeest, bring their own unique defensive trick. These two species often intermingle, benefiting from each other's presence and vigilance. Their dazzling stripes, when seen in a large moving group, create a confusing optical illusion. The stripes blend together, making it difficult for predators to pick out a single target. This motion dazzle makes it difficult for a predator to judge the speed and direction of a single zebra, or even to distinguish where one animal ends and another begins. The confusion buys precious seconds for escape. The smaller Thompson's gazelles rely on their incredible speed and agility. They're always alert, ready to bolt at the first sign of danger, capable of reaching speeds of up to 90 kilometres per hour and executing sharp, high-speed turns. They can often outmaneuver even the fastest cheetah. Their unpredictable movements make them difficult to catch. They also employ a behaviour known as stotting, where they leap high into the air with all 4 legs held stiff. This display is both a warning and a challenge to would-be predators. This is thought to be a signal to the predator, a display of fitness that says, "I am strong and healthy, you will not be able to catch me, so you should save your energy for an easier target." Such displays can deter pursuit before it even begins. It is a complex dance of instinct and strategy, a suite of behaviours fine-tuned over millennia to give the grazers a fighting chance against the hunters. The migration itself is a test of endurance, cooperation and adaptation as herds navigate rivers, evade predators and interact with other species, all in the relentless pursuit of survival. Of all the dangers faced by the migrating herds, none is more dramatic or more deadly than the crossing of the Mara River. Here, nature's raw power and merciless unpredictability are on full display. This deep, fast-flowing river slices through the northern Serengeti, a formidable swirling barrier that stands between the herds and the promise of lush grazing lands in the Maasai Mara. Its waters, dark and mysterious, conceal countless threats. As the herds approach the river's edge, a palpable tension electrifies the air. The ground trembles beneath thousands of hooves, each animal sensing the peril that lies ahead. They gather in their thousands, sometimes waiting for days, their instincts urging them forward while their fear holds them back. The mass of bodies presses ever closer to the water, the pressure mounting with every passing moment. The air is thick with dust swirling in the sunlight, and the sounds of anxious grunts and desperate calls echo across the savannah. Every sense is heightened, every muscle tensed for the ordeal to come. The pressure from the animals behind builds until finally one brave or desperate individual takes the plunge. In an instant the herd surges forward, a living torrent of bodies crashing into the river in a frantic, chaotic stampede. The river itself is a death trap. Its powerful currents twist and churn, creating hidden whirlpools and eddies that can drag even the strongest swimmers beneath the surface. Weaker animals are swept away by the relentless flow, their desperate struggles lost in the chaos. The far bank, steep and slick with mud, becomes a final, gruelling obstacle for those exhausted by the swim. But the most terrifying danger lurks beneath the murky surface, invisible and silent until it strikes. The Mara River is home to some of Africa's largest Nile crocodiles, ancient armoured predators that have haunted these waters for millions of years. For most of the year, these giants lie dormant, conserving their energy, their eyes barely breaking the surface as they wait. But when the migration arrives, the crocodiles awaken, their hunger driving them into the water for their annual feast. They position themselves at the crossing points, lurking motionless, their bodies blending with the river's shadows, waiting for the inevitable panic to erupt. The attack, when it comes, is a terrifying explosion of power. A crocodile bursts from the water, jaws agape, targeting the vulnerable legs of a wildebeest. Its jaws clamp down with the strongest bite force in the animal kingdom, locking onto its prey with unbreakable grip. The crocodile drags its victim beneath the surface, spinning in a violent death roll, tearing flesh and bone in a gruesome underwater struggle. The water churns into a frenzy of desperation and death as crocodiles gorge themselves on the bounty delivered by the migration. The river runs red, a testament to the harsh realities of survival. For the crocodiles, this brief period of abundance provides enough food to sustain them through the long, lean months ahead. For the wildebeest, it is a terrifying lottery. Some are swept away by the current, others fall prey to the crocodiles, while the lucky and the strong push through, driven by instinct and the safety of numbers. Even for those who escape the river's grasp and the crocodile's jaws, the ordeal is not over. Exhausted and disoriented, they must still face new threats on the far bank. The riverbanks are patrolled by opportunistic predators, ever watchful for the weak and the weary. Lions, leopards and hyenas lie in wait, ready to ambush the exhausted and disoriented animals as they struggle out of the water, their strength sapped by the crossing. The weak, the injured and the young, those separated from their mothers in the chaos, are quickly targeted, their struggles adding to the drama of the crossing. The Mara River crossing is the single most hazardous point of the entire migration, a crucible of chaos, fear and raw survival. It is a brutal, unforgiving spectacle, but one that is absolutely vital. Here, the transfer of energy from grazers to predators and scavengers nourishes the entire riverine ecosystem, sustaining life in one of the wildest places on Earth. The Great Migration is far more than a contest between predator and prey. It is the heartbeat of the savannah, sustaining every living thing that calls these plains home. This endless movement acts as a powerful engine, redistributing nutrients, shaping the land, and influencing the lives of countless species along the way. Every step of the journey, from the grazing of the herds to the fate of those who fall, weaves together a tapestry of life and renewal that nourishes the plains. The herds do not simply pass through, they actively fertilize and rejuvenate the land, leaving behind a trail of life-giving nutrients. Their dung, scattered in vast quantities, returns essential nitrogen and minerals to the soil, fueling the growth of grasses and plants that sustain grazers, browsers, and even the smallest insects. The constant grazing by these herds keeps the grasslands healthy, preventing any single plant species from dominating and allowing a rich diversity of grasses to flourish. Like a natural lawnmower, millions of mouths trim the grasses, encouraging fresh, tender shoots to sprout and providing food for a wide array of creatures, from insects to antelope. This relentless grazing reduces the build-up of dry plant matter, lowering the risk of wildfires that could devastate the land and the animals that depend on it. The pounding of countless hooves breaks up the hard soil, creating small pockets where seeds and water can settle. As the herds move, their hooves aerate the earth, allowing rain to soak in and seeds to germinate, giving rise to new life with every passing season. In this way, the herds act as gardeners on a grand scale, cultivating the plains and ensuring that the land remains rich and vibrant for all who depend on it. Even the 250,000 animals that perish each year during the migration are not lost, but become a vital source of nourishment for the land and its inhabitants. Their remains represent a massive transfer of nutrients, feeding scavengers and enriching the soil as they decompose. Large predators such as lions may take the first share, but every part of the carcass is consumed by a succession of scavengers, ensuring nothing is wasted. A dedicated clean-up crew from vultures to storks quickly arrives to recycle what remains, each species playing a unique role in the process. Vultures, with their keen eyesight, can spot a carcass from great distances, ensuring that no opportunity for recycling nutrients is missed. Each vulture species is adapted to a specific task. Some tear through tough hides, others pick meat from bones, so that every scrap is consumed and returned to the ecosystem. This rapid recycling is essential, preventing the spread of disease and ensuring that nutrients are swiftly returned to the soil. By swiftly consuming the dead, scavengers like the marabou, stork and hyena cleanse the land, making way for new life to flourish. The nutrients locked within each fallen animal are absorbed by the earth, nourishing the next generation of grasses and plants and supporting the entire web of life. From the mightiest lion to the smallest dung beetle, every creature has a role in this intricate cycle, each action rippling outward to affect countless others. The Great Migration is a living illustration of nature's interconnectedness, a ceaseless dance where life and death are woven together, and the journey of one becomes the foundation for many. For thousands of years, the Great Migration has continued its cycle, a seemingly unstoppable force of nature. But even this ancient wonder faces modern threats from the natural world itself, as the environment and its wild inhabitants present new and evolving challenges. The Serengeti Mara ecosystem is a delicate balance, and shifts in weather patterns and natural cycles can disrupt the migration in unexpected ways. The very resources the animals depend on, water and grazing land, are increasingly unpredictable, sometimes vanishing for weeks or months at a time. Extended droughts driven by shifting climate patterns can wither the grasslands and leave the herds struggling to find enough food to sustain their journey. On the other hand, sudden and intense storms can bring flash floods, turning river crossings into deadly gauntlets and stranding animals on isolated islands of high ground. The Mara River, always a formidable barrier, becomes even more treacherous during these times, as swollen waters and strong currents increase the risk of drowning. Natural predators like crocodiles take full advantage of these conditions, lying in wait for the herds as they attempt to cross. On land, lions, hyenas and cheetahs follow the migration, preying on the weak, the young and the exhausted, shaping the fate of thousands with each passing day. Scavengers, too, play their part. Vultures, jackals and marabou storks descend on the remains, ensuring nothing goes to waste in this harsh environment. Swarms of biting insects such as tsetse flies and mosquitoes can weaken the herds, spreading disease and sapping their strength during the long trek. Outbreaks of disease, both old and new, can sweep through the migrating animals, sometimes decimating entire groups before they reach their destination. The landscape itself poses constant hazards. Steep riverbanks, rocky outcrops, and deep mud can injure or trap animals, especially the young and the old. Competition with other wild animals, such as elephants and buffalo, can make access to water and grazing even more difficult, especially during times of scarcity. Sudden natural events, like lightning storms or wildfires, can scatter the herds, causing confusion and separating mothers from calves. For the vulnerable, such as newborn calves, these moments can mean the difference between life and death. Yet, despite these relentless natural threats, the migration endures, a testament to the resilience and adaptability of the animals that undertake this epic journey. The Great Migration has survived countless natural challenges over the millennia, and while the threats from nature and other animals are formidable, they are part of the ancient rhythm that has shaped this wonder for generations. Despite the formidable challenges, the wild endures, and hope for the future of the Great Migration shines brighter than ever. Across the endless plains, herds of wildebeest, zebras and gazelles continue their ancient journey, guided by instinct and the rhythm of the seasons. Nature itself is a master of resilience. Through droughts, floods and shifting landscapes, the animals adapt, finding new paths and forging new alliances in their quest for survival. The migration is a testament to the enduring power of life. Each year, millions of hooves thunder across the savannah, a living river of determination and hope. The predators, too, play their part, lions, cheetahs and crocodiles, each woven into the fabric of this wild tapestry, ensuring balance and the renewal of life. Even the land itself participates in conservation. Grasses regenerate after the herds pass, rivers carve new channels, and forests spring up where seeds are carried by migrating animals. The ecosystem is a living, breathing entity, constantly healing, adapting and finding ways to thrive, even in the face of adversity. The future migrations will continue, as long as the wild remains free and the cycles of nature are allowed to unfold. The resilience of these animals is a beacon of hope, a reminder that life finds a way and that the wild heart of Africa beats on. As long as the sun rises over the savannah and the rains return, the great herds will march, the predators will follow, and the circle of life will endure. The Great Migration stands as a symbol of nature's own conservation, an unbroken chain of life, resilience, and hope for tomorrow. If we look to the wild, we see that hope is not just a dream, but a living reality, one that will continue to inspire for generations to come. As the migration surges onward, the savannah transforms into a stage for dramatic confrontations, each encounter a test of instinct, strength, and survival. Along the riverbanks, wildebeest plunge into the churning waters, only to face the ancient jaws of waiting crocodiles. The struggle is fierce and primal, a split-second battle where only the swiftest and most determined escape the predator's grasp. Out on the plains, rivalries unfold beneath the open sky. A lone cheetah locks eyes with a nimble gazelle, the chase erupting in a blur of speed and agility. Every muscle, every heartbeat is pushed to the limit as predator and prey race across the grasslands. Sometimes the gazelle's deft maneuvers win the day. Other times the cheetah's relentless pursuit prevails. Elsewhere, a lion pride defends its territory against a bold band of hyenas. The air crackles with tension as these formidable foes circle each other, snarls echoing across the golden grass. Each side is driven by hunger and the instinct to protect its own, leading to fierce skirmishes that shape the balance of power on the savannah. These confrontations are more than battles. They are crucial moments in the cycle of life. Each clash, whether won or lost, fuels the unending rhythm of nature, ensuring that only the fittest endure. Through every dramatic encounter, the story of the Great Migration is written anew, a tale of resilience, adaptation, and the relentless will to survive. Beneath the surface of the Great Migration's chaos lies a world of strategy, where every species, from the smallest bird to the largest herbivore, relies on finely tuned instincts and clever tactics to survive. For the zebra, safety comes in stripes. Their dazzling patterns blend together in vast herds, confusing predators and making it difficult to single out a target. Wildebeest, on the other hand, bank on numbers, surging forward in overwhelming waves that can deter even the boldest hunters. Antelope rely on agility, zigzagging across the plains with astonishing bursts of speed, while warthogs dart into abandoned burrows at the first sign of danger. Birds like the oxpecker play their part too, perching atop buffalo and giraffe, keeping a sharp eye out for threats and sounding the alarm with shrill cries. Predators have their own playbook. Lions use coordinated teamwork, circling herds and communicating silently before launching a perfectly timed ambush. Cheetahs depend on stealth and patience, stalking through the tall grass until the moment is right to sprint. Crocodiles employ ancient patience, lurking motionless for hours before exploding into action as herds cross the river. Even the tiniest creatures have roles to play. Dung beetles follow the herds, turning waste into nourishment for the soil, while vultures soar above, waiting for their moment to clean the savanna and keep the ecosystem in balance. Every animal, no matter its size or strength, brings unique skills to this grand migration. Their survival depends not just on power or speed, but on adaptability, intelligence, and the centuries-old wisdom etched into their very DNA. In this epic struggle, nature's playbook is always evolving, and only those who master its strategies can hope to endure. As the migration unfolds across the endless plains, a hidden network of rare alliances and unexpected interactions quietly shapes life on the savanna. Here, competition takes a back seat, and cooperation sometimes steals the show. Watch as herds of wildebeest and zebras travel side by side, their differences turning into strengths. Zebras, with their sharp eyesight and memory, spot danger first, while wildebeest, with their keen sense of smell, detect water sources buried deep in the landscape. Together, they lead each other safely through the perilous journey, blending their unique talents for a greater chance of survival. In the tangled undergrowth, tiny birds known as honey guides flutter ahead of honey badgers, chirping insistently. The honey guide leads the badger to a hidden beehive. The badger, undeterred by stings, tears open the hive, feasting on honey and larvae. Once finished, the honey guide swoops in to claim its sugary reward, a perfect example of nature's shared fortunes. Even predators and prey sometimes form unexpected pacts. Oxpeckers, those vigilant sentinels atop buffalo and giraffe, feed on ticks and parasites, yet they also call out warnings when stealthy lions approach, protecting their hosts from the very hunters that roam the grasslands. And beneath the surface, the crocodile and the plover bird enact a delicate truce. The plover fearlessly enters the crocodile's gaping jaws, plucking leeches and scraps from between its teeth. The crocodile, in return, offers a safe perch and a meal, an astonishing moment of trust between two unlikely partners. These rare alliances reveal the deep interconnections that bind every creature of the migration. In a world where survival often means outsmarting rivals, sometimes the greatest strength comes from working together. The savanna's most remarkable stories are not just those of competition, but of unity, teamwork, and the surprising friendships that flourish against all odds.